Hey, Nick. It just felt like you guys didn't have very much energy or juice pretty much all night. You think it was just a cumulative effect of games and travel and close games and being warm?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I was pretty happy at the half, Doug. I thought we were trying to manage the game. We always talk about that on back-to-backs, that we just try to get it to the half and see where we're at. I was pretty happy there. I thought we dispersed the minutes pretty good in the first half. But yeah, we just weren't, ourselves defensively at all tonight. We were out of schemes quickly, and we were just not moving. We were kind of in, but we weren't getting back out very much, as you could see, and happened pretty fast there in a bunch of plays.
Last night you said you really weren't all that impressed with the Birch Achua starting group. Did you tweak things, and how did you think it looked tonight?
It was, I thought it was okay at the start tonight, Doug. I thought it was okay. I think that we are trying to look at it a little bit to see if we can figure it out and get some work on it. I think it, again, we like to be able to be flexible depending on who we're playing. If we got all our people, just in case we need them in certain situations. But I think it was okay tonight, Doug. I got to look at the tape. I think it was okay. I think there was many other things that were an issue tonight, not that.
Including one, Scottie only had, I think, 9 field goal attempts. But did they do something to take him out of it, or was he less aggressive than you would have liked?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to say that he's less aggressive when he's not getting a 15, 16 shots up. That's for sure. I don't think so. I mean, the only thing they did was they doubled him on the post, but we only did it one time, and they were doubling everybody on the post. It wasn't really specific to him. Yeah, I just, he's had some really good looks here the last 2 nights that have rolled off on him, but it'll happen. He's been making a lot of tough shots lately. I'm sure you're gonna have a game like that once in a while. Nothing to majorly worry about.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Nick. Safe trip back.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. Go ahead, Eric Green.
Hey, Nick. Since Fred came back in the San Antonio game, and you've sort of rested him when the odd time and on the back-to-back, how would you assess his play overall?
Well, I don't think anybody played great tonight. I thought he came out and gave us a great start early, Eric. And again, he's one of the leaders out there that's keeping us organized and keeping us going. So he had a tough shooting night. I kind of knew, I thought we were in trouble there when he had 3 or 4 wide open threes in a row and none of them went. Those probably would have kept us, a couple of those would have kept us in reach a little bit more. So he had a tough shooting night, but he still played okay.
Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Eric. Go ahead, Michael Grange.
Nick, what goes through your mind sometimes when you do get into these little ruts where you just have a hard time scoring? We've seen it kind of multiple times the last few games. I'm thinking of the third quarter. Are you kind of exploring your options, or are you kind of going, here we go again? What's the reaction in your part?
Well, my first always, analysis of it, Michael, is to decide, is it really that bad that we're, not getting good enough shots or whatever. We did go into a stretch where we turned it over maybe 2 or 3 straight times. That's concerning. But, when you've got a bunch of shots at the rim that you're not making, and a string of wide open threes that don't go in, not much more we can ask for than that, right? So there is, the only thing I'm probably ever concerned about is the turnovers, and then if we just feel like we're getting time after time a really bad shot. There was a stretch of that, but there was also a stretch of missed wide open shots, and sometimes you're just going to have, I do remember telling him at the third quarter break, I was like, listen, we're getting good enough shots, because I thought we probably were in the third quarter, to make a run. We're getting good enough shot. I mean, we got to start making some.
Right. Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
good night.
you're welcome.
Take care.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Last question goes to Aaron Rose.
Hey, Nick. Going off of Doug's earlier question about some of the lineup stuff, you also used that lineup, the starting lineup again, and you also used a strange Chris, Precious, and Kem lineup tonight. Are you still sort of just tinkering with things to see what's going to work for the playoffs? And how do you balance that with, you know, you don't have a ton of guys, but trying to go with what you already have seen and know right now?
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't sit here and say, you know, hey, I need to look at these lineups for the playoffs, right? We're with what we have with a couple guys out, it changes, as you know. We've gone with the Kim Precious thing a couple times. The reason Chris came in was to spell Scottie, who was then going to spell Freddie at the point guard. So that's how that ended up.